Here we are, week 3, Shady Saturday Shakedown. We got the first 6-pack in roughly 2 years. Katzman, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
So,
Serious upgrade to the studio, by the way.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
phenomenal.
You.
It looks
thank
beautiful.
You.
Yeah.
It's been, maybe we could say I was working on it all last year. I don't know. So let's just get down to it here. Katzman, are you still thinking about your title, or has your focus completely shifted already to this year?
I don't think anybody ever completely forgets about their first title.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Funny you should say that. I mean,
the chasm.
I actually travel with it. It buckles into my kid's safety seat. I just throw the kid in the back, and this gets buckled into the harness. It's phenomenal.
I don't blame you.
I keep it polished. I keep it warm at night. It sleeps between my wife and I. It's causing a little bit of contention, but fuck it. It's the BDL, man.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'll set this here for a little bit.
I'm jealous, but congratulations.
Thank you. But
congratulations.
In all seriousness, I think my attention is definitely focused on 2016 now, and I actually just taking on Koski this week.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's the only way you can be the first to go back to back. I don't even think
Bold.
I don't even think that's something that Tom could really think about. So
not at least for 2 years.
No, exactly. So, I'm stoked for 2016.
He's stoked. So next, how do you feel about your title defense this season? I mean, you've started off 2-0.
Right.
Your team almost broke a record held by yours truly, just almost. So how do you feel going forward from this point about your title defense chances?
I feel pretty good. I think the last 6 games on my schedule are just going to be absolutely brutal, with 2 against Corey, 2 against the commish, and 2 against Garrett. So
Woo!
I gotta build up a nice lead.
All 3 of those teams are 2-0 right now.
I know. So I got to build up a nice lead, and at least go 5-1 over this next stretch. So I think I'm on a good run though. I'm feeling good. I'm addressing some of my issues from a running back perspective, since I'm only
all of us are.
I
really.
know, the trade fury. But I'm only renting D'Lo for the first 3 weeks, so I'm getting my money's worth out of him.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I feel pretty good about my position right now.
I would too.
Yeah,
I can't blame you. So the last 8-10 days have been pretty ridiculous in the BDL in terms of trading. Koski in particular, it's pretty much 2 owners.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's the Koski show, bringing the boys back together, bringing the gang back together.
Yep. So Koski ships off LaShawn McCoy, Michael Crabtree, gets Alshon Jeffrey.
Yep. The question is, who's throwing the ball to Alshon? I know it's going to be Hoyer, but is that offensive line going to be able to keep him upright long enough for Alshon to get the ball?
It's going to be sticky. This is going to be somebody that we're going to be monitoring over the next 3 to 4 weeks until Smoking Jay Cut.
Yeah.
Who we saw.
Yeah, Koski doesn't seem worried.
Resurgence.
Koski doesn't seem worried, so hats off to him for his excitement over this.
Now, side note, we'll get to it a little later. Alshon has not been practicing.
Ooh.
So then you were involved in
a
trade with Koski. You shipped off Larry Fitz, Giovanni Bernard, returned DeMarco Murray, Michael Floyd.
I was really trying to address the running back situation that I was going to have in a couple weeks with D'Lo going back to Le'Veon Bell's bitch.
Yep.
I think I'll be in good shape. I don't mind running DeMarco and some scrub and my running backs. Totally good with that.
DeMarco, healthy, great player.
Yep.
He stays healthy, I think you're going to be fine there. Hardman Sr. and Hardman Jr., a little brotherly love. Hardman Sr. shipped off Jordy Nelson and Eddie Lacy. He traded Jordy Nelson for Eddie Lacy and Demarius Thomas.
I'm not a big Eddie Lacy fan, so it's hard for me to really think that was some good moves. But more power to the Hardmans for that brotherly trading, which I think deserves a little bit of extra scrutiny.
That one I think is going to be something we're going to have to wait weeks to see who really got the best end of that trade. And then to round it out, Hardman Jr. again, Des Bryant for Mark Ingram. I think Des is going to start heating it up.
Yeah.
Dak's only going to get better. Zeke's probably only going to get better, which is going to open up the passing game. Mark Ingram in a passing offense. I mean, it's.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I love me some Dez. I could take or leave Mark. So, but
I hate Dez, but I respect his talent. All right, we're gonna play a little game. It's called Play One, Bench One, Drop One.
Okay, go.
And we're gonna assume this is for about 5 weeks.
Okay.
No bye weeks. Starting off, Cam Newton, Antonio Brown, DeMarco Murray.
Got to play Antonio. I think Koski would come to my house and just murder me if I didn't say Antonio. Got to bench Cam, and I got to ship DeMarco out.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, but.
So that was not realistic. This one hits close to home. Sammy Watkins, Doug Martin, Jamal Charles.
It's like the injured reserve all-star team right there.
It's ugly.
Yeah. I think you gotta play and wait for Dougie, I guess. Now I play Sammy, bench Dougie, drop Jamal.
Who knows what's going on with Jamal?
Yeah. I put out an APB for him, I guess. I guess the leg's made of paper mache and coat hangers right now. So
I think the only difference I would do is probably drop Doug and bench Jamal in hopes that, at least in my current position, Jamal hits home runs when he comes back. I'm 0-2.
That's tough.
I got to go big.
That's tough. That's tough. Tough call.
All right, so getting into our matchups, week 1 or 3 here. We got Hardman Jr. 0-2 versus Dennis 0-2. Somebody's coming out of this game 0-3. Which is going to be very difficult to come back.
One hell of an abyss to climb out of.
So Hardman's got somebody going here. I mean,
now
he's about to kick off.
Yeah.
Will Fuller, he's got 100 yards in back-to-back games. Small sample size for this guy. What do you think about Will?
I'm a fan. I just don't see that productivity keeping up against the New England defense, especially. I think you're going to see regression here.
It'd be hard to not believe that. I mean, he's putting up ridiculous numbers right now. So Hardman starts the week on Thursday, ends the week on Monday. He's got a full
his brand new shiny toy.
Mark Ingram. Taking on the Falcons. I mean, this guy he's put up 17 points so far.
Quite frankly, I think both these teams are pass-first offenses. I think that 9 to 15 points is his ceiling. I just don't see him going off for 3 rushing touchdowns, and unless he just gets heavily involved in the passing game, like a short rollout passes, dump offs, or from Breeze. But Breeze loves his wide receivers.
He does.
And that's where his targets go.
Yeah, he's only 6 receptions through the first 2 games. You'd like to see an uptick in that. If he does get more involved, I think he could be relevant.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a solid piece.
Absolutely.
Solid piece for Hank, but I don't see him being a game breaker.
On the other side of the field, we got Dennis, Kelvin Benjamin. I'm gonna let the reins over to you, to the actual Panther fan.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of shade thrown at him for some of the national guys saying he's not a true, legit number 1 receiver, and I have to disagree. I think he's Cam's safety blanket. I don't think Cam hesitates one bit sending him across the middle to get killed.
Right.
So as long as he can stay healthy, which I hope he can, I think he's going to continue to put up monster numbers.
I mean, 50 points through the first 2 weeks, just ridiculous.
As long as Cam doesn't kill him with a high pass, I think we're good.
This one is absolutely fucking baffling to me. Dennis has Forte going against Kansas City. Forte has scored 49 points so far. He dropped 30 points last week on 30 carries and 2 catches. What the fuck's going on with Forte?
I think he's going to get it back. I think this is a blip in the radar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be I think he's going to come back to earth. I think he's got to level out.
Do you think he can handle this kind of workload, 25 to 30 touches a game? Do you
Absolutely
think he can?
not. No,
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. But Tom might disagree because I know how much Tom loves him some Forte, but I just don't think you can keep that productivity
I think
up.
that bromance is probably rekindled at this point, if it ever even went out.
I don't think it ever went out.
I'm going Hardman Jr. in this game.
Ooh.
I think the trades that he's made, I think those are going to help him now. But long term, I think Eddie Lacy, I think Des Bryant, I think those guys are going to pan out. But I think right now, Henry's good. I think he wins this game. What do you...
Henry gave me a scare last week. I mean, he came within about 7-8 points of beating me last week. I respect his moves he's made. But I think KB and Tom's love child, Forte, with the hot hand, keeps it going, powers his Dennis to the W. And sorry, Hank, into the 0-3 hole.
0-3 is not a place you want to be. Matchup 2, we've got Gary, 1-1, versus Garrett at 2-0.
Was that a little vomit in your throat right there?
I mean, 2-0. Garrett, you're Mr. 500. Your fucking 3-number letter thing beside your team is 500. He's 1,000.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's it for right now. Gary, right now, I mean, it's only Thursday, but Gary has Bortles as his starter. He's number 16 right now amongst quarterbacks. He has Wilson down on the bench. He's 27.
That offense looks anemic, though, right now.
And he's been hobbling around on an ankle. He doesn't even have a Q beside him right now. And this year, no Q means you're fine. You're 100%.
I think this is dangerous. I think playing Bortles over Wilson's is going to play out until it doesn't, because I think Wilson's going to go off and he's going to return to his 2015 form. And unfortunately, Gary might have him on the bench when that happens. It might cost him a W.
I love Russell Wilson. I wanted him this year, just too much money at the time. Todd Gurley, what do you think about him in this offense where he is the only thing, like their quarterback?
Ooh.
I mean, what do you feel about this going forward?
I think until the quarterback can prove that they can stretch the field, they're just going to continue stacking that box. I mean, you saw San Francisco pitch a shutout against them, and that defense wasn't anything special. So it's going to be tough sledding for Gurley,
I think so. It's going to be extremely difficult for Todd to live up to the $50-ish dollar price tag that Gary paid
he's
for.
not going to be for lack of touches, I'll tell you that right now.
No, they are going to feed the man the rock. But if I'm any team playing against the Rams, I'm stopping Todd Gurley.
That said, I'll trade for him right now.
Me too. Give me a call.
Okay.
Give me a call, yeah. Another running back that is producing for Gary right now is David Johnson. There was a lot of hype about him coming into this year. I know a lot of people that were very interested in him. Gary ends up with him. I mean, he's averaging 18, 19 points a game right now, getting a few catches, but for big yardage.
Yeah.
I see David doing some pretty ridiculous things this year. Are you a David fan?
I am a David fan. I'm a fan of the Cardinals in general. I miss you, Larry. I miss you.
I do too.
I'm a fan of the Cards in general. I think that he's going to get the touches, he's going to get the touchdowns, he's going to get the yards, especially out of the backfield catching balls as Carson's safety blanket. So I think that's a great player. I love him.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty much picking up $150 all-purpose yards a game right now.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
So
beautiful.
if he starts hitting pay dirt on a regular basis, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yep.
We got Mr. 500.
Mr. 1000, maybe.
I hate it, but it's true. It is. So right now, Garrett has 7 players that in his starting lineup that are ranked top 10 at their position. You got Carr at 3, Melvin at 7, Evans at 8, Hopkins at 7, Orange Julius 3, defense 8, Ravens, whatever. Tucker, kicker 4, whatever.
Where's Freeman?
Not top 10.
Okay.
Kind of a shocker.
Shocker, though. Yeah.
Kind of a shocker. But something that is looking good for Garrett, one of those players that is in his top 10, he acquired from, I believe, Mason. Melvin Gordon for Dante Moncrief.
Great call.
Moncrief now is gone for a month and a half, I think. You don't like to look at trades being won or lost by injury, but right now, Garrett's won that trade.
Yeah, no, Garrett's started with the draft. He had a solid strategy coming on. I think it was the lack of the 3-ring binder that really helped him out, honestly. Like, he had a nice draft. I've got a giant heart-on for all those receivers that he has.
It's ridiculous.
And I have Antonio, so I shouldn't have, like, wide receiver, like, coveting, but I do. Like, I love him.
My main beef with Garrett is change your team name, AC/DC, please.
Absolutely.
Meaningless, exciting.
Absolutely.
I made the joke about your career last week, and now I look stupid. So do something. So talk about Freeman. This guy, 17 points, 2 weeks. I mean, he's getting week 1. He got 15 touches, and including his receptions. Week 2, he got 17 touches. If I'm Garrett, I want to see more touches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you expect that out of the feature back for a supposedly potent offense, especially that could stretch the field with Julio. I mean, it should open it up for Freeman. It's going to be tough for him to match the productivity from last season. And I think that's what he drafted him for. So I think it's going to be tough going for Freeman in the near future, and especially with Coleman coming on strong, stealing touches.
I was about to ask you about Coleman.
Yeah.
You think do you feel like Coleman is going to be the main problem for Freeman's fantasy production?
I don't know if it's going to be Coleman specifically, but I think it's going to be running back by committee. I think he's going to suffer from just lack of touches. And I think he's going to just not have all the opportunities that he had last year when they had so many injury issues.
Right. Yeah. So I don't like it. I'm taking Garrett in this one. His team is ridiculous right now.
Right.
I like Garrett. Who are you liking this one?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see the team slowing down at all. The wide receiver triple threat's going to be good for 50, 60 points alone, I think.
Scary.
And I think he could honestly sit Freeman on Monday night and still walk off with a 10-point win over Tinkerbell. So, G-rated 3-0, Tinkerbell 1-2.
I agree. Game 3. This one gets a little more personal. Myself, Shady, 0-2. Mason, 0-2. We got another situation.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going home 0-3.
Shady, you can't go to 0-3, man.
I don't want to.
No.
I'm pretty sure I did it last year. It turned out all right.
Playoffs?
But it took a lot of trades that I don't think I'm going to get again.
I can't even say it. Herlikian effort.
Herlikian.
There you go.
Herlikian.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, it was an epic effort, buddy.
First thing I'm gonna give it to you because I don't want to talk about it. Is Allen Robinson right now the 43rd ranked wide receiver?
That's not going to continue. I mean, he's too talented and it's too explosive of an offense to sit on his haunches and not produce. I mean, no touchdowns thus far. It's just got to be disappointing. You're going to see a bounce back, and Baltimore's a decent team to do it against, I think. Why not? I mean,
I like to hear that. I
Yeah.
tell myself that, but it's nice to hear reassurance. I agree with you. I think he's way too much of an athlete, too talented to just finish outside top 20.
But they were scoring they were one of the top 5 scoring offenses last year. I mean, he'll return to form and he'll get his touchdowns. He'll catch up.
Yeah. Lions are playing the Packers this week. This is
that a big game?
It's a big game.
Oh, okay.
It's in Lambeau. Lions broke the streak last year of losing for 20 years or something like that in Lambeau. Stafford is looking. I don't know if you've watched any Lions games.
I have.
Stafford, I think, is looking great. Last week, I think there was 8 dropped passes, which if they would have caught those drops, Stafford would have finished 90% completion percentage. Heartbreaker last week.
15-16?
15-16. After I believe it might have been 15-zip or pretty close.
The week prior was a little bit of a nail biter as well, if I do recall.
It is. So
is your heart going to be able to handle this season is my question.
If it continues like this, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So Stafford, new favorite target, Marvin Jones.
Right.
10 targets week 1, 11 targets week 2.
You got to love that.
I love it. I'm a Lions homer.
Love that.
I'm biased, but I really like Marvin Jones this year.
I mean, he's looking for a replacement for Megatron, and you're not going to replace him with anybody.
No, you're going to end up spreading it out.
Yeah, but if you can find somebody that has sure hands that doesn't drop the ball, then
absorb some of those needed targets that are missing.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now he's number 22, so he's right outside, a wide receiver 2. I think he'll finish the year probably as a wide receiver 2, maybe right on the bubble. Mason.
Epic beard man.
Epic fucking beard man. Main thing I take away from Mason's team right now is OBJ. 29, so I mean, right now he's a flex. Not gonna. No way. No way.
No, I rode that weird bastard all the way to a championship last year, and that's not the performance that you need out of a player you pay $70+ for.
Well, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you remember?
Playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry about that.
Quiet first half, and then all of a sudden, like 87-yard bomb. Yeah. OBJ. Way too good of a player. This week, this is gonna be probably tough. OBJ against the Redskins, 25th ranked wide receiver defense. Over under 20 points.
Over.
Over? You think this is the week?
Yeah, I think Josh is going to be exposed to this week a little bit. I think you saw it a little bit last year when the two of them played, that Josh got exposed a little bit. I think he went off for, Beckham had at least 25 points when they played Carolina. I think Carolina's defense is far superior to the Washington Redskins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would not be shocked if this is the game that Mason paid all that money for. I know that you hate to hear that.
I don't like that.
Mason paid a lot of money for this guy, and this is the game you're going to see it come out.
This is also, if I read correctly, the first time that Norman's actually going to follow somebody.
But not in the slot.
Am I crazy in thinking, why are you guys doing this when you just paid this man an insane amount of money that he's going to guard a 2, a 3? I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but I don't get many things that the Washington Redskins do, so that's why you will not find a Washington
All I care about is Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
Throw him the ball, and I don't care what else.
It's all good.
He's got a new player going, Des Bryant. Right now, he's the 52nd ranked wide receiver. But, I mean, week 1, he had a point. Catch for 8 yards.
Right.
Week 2, bounce back big. 7 catches, $102. 17 points, and he had 12 targets.
Still hasn't found pay dirt yet.
No,
which is a little bit disconcerting. So that's got to change eventually.
Absolutely, you got the rookie quarterback.
Only a matter of time.
He's developing. I think that team only gets better as the year goes on. And then the bounce back master, C.J. Anderson, number 3 running back right now.
Yeah, I'm bummed about CJ. I tried to outbid Mason on this guy during the draft, and I knew he was going to be getting a great workload. He was going to be a hard runner. I did not count on 29 and 17 points though.
Right.
I would have paid for him if I knew that. But I love CJ. I think this is a great player.
This? I mean, 20 touches a game. I'm not sure how much involved he's been in the passing game. I didn't look into that, but do you think this kind of workload and production will continue throughout the season?
I think with the quarterback that might as well be a rookie, doing 3-step drops. I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of running, handoff, and roll out, bootleg type things to free him up. And I think the running game is so important. So I think 20, 25 touches a game is not ridiculous workload for this guy.
I mean, top 5, top 10?
5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
CJ. Big
CJ.
pick. I'm taking myself. I think I have picked against myself once. I think that was before you were even born into the BDL. But it's not happening right now. I'm 0-2. I got to stay confident. But you're here, so I get an unbiased opinion. What do you think?
Don't kick me out of the Shady Shakedown Studios, but I got to go Epic Beard Man here. I think, like I said earlier, this is the week that OBJ shows up, puts up 25 on Jono, and makes him look ridiculous. Fuck that guy. Des lights up Chicago because I think Chicago's straight garbage. And I think Drew's going to pass for 4+ TDs. And hopefully they all go to Cooks. But my call, Beard Man gets the W. Sorry, buddy. Into the 0-3 hole. Epic time for a comeback for you. How sweet would the playoffs and the championship be coming out of this hole?
Oh, it'd be great. I just need somebody to trade me, the number 1 running back and the number 9 wide receiver for a washed up guy.
Don't sell yourself short. You maybe get it.
All right.
I'll give you D'Lo after this week.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, maybe Le'Veon will go smoke some pot and call it a day.
We'll talk.
Game 4. This one also is a little more personal.
Absolutely.
Got yourself 2-0, taking on Mr. Trade Happy Koski, 1-1. The first thing I'm going to say is,
don't say it.
Last chance with D'Angelo.
Yeah, I'm going to be sad when that goes away. Number 1 running back, 5 years old or whatever he is.
Insane.
I think I paid $6 after I think he was my last pick of the draft too, which was.
Yeah, you paid $6. I remember.
I paid $6 because that's all I had left, and I just threw it out there. But he's been a blessing. I've been loving me some D'Lo. I'm pretty sad.
Do you feel like your roster is prepared for him to leave?
I think by the DeMarco move that I made with Koski a little earlier, I think I've buffered myself a little bit. I obviously don't put a lot of stock in running backs, apparently. So I think if I can just get some serviceable output from him, I'll be all right.
So Garrett had 7 top 10 players in his lineup, starting lineup. Your entire fucking starting lineup is top 10.
That's insane.
Cam number 2.
This is last week, though.
D'Lo's going to drop out.
D'Lo's going to go.
But DeMarco, he's already in there. But you got Cam, D'Lo, DeMarco, Antonio, Brandon. Who? Antonio?
Yeah, I think he's good, yeah.
Last week was rough.
Last week was rough, yeah.
I think he finished 7.
I think I saw something that was his lowest production yardage-wise in 4 seasons. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm feeling an epic bounce-back game.
It's taking on Philly. Right now, they're rated 5th against wide receivers.
Absolutely, yeah.
But they played Cleveland. They played Chicago. Where Smoking J Cut got taken out.
Yep.
What do you see Antonio doing this week?
I think he's right back to his old antics. I'm thinking he's going over 30.
Woo!
I think he's going 2 touchdowns, 140 yards. I think he's going to have some Antonio-like numbers. I'm feeling it.
Probably some people out there wondering right now, would you trade Antonio for anything? Just would you even consider trading him?
Oh, absolutely.
You would?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's on
easy, Koski.
He's available.
He's available. Nobody's untouchable. It'd be a king's ransom, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy.
Sammy Watkins and Doug Martin.
No.
Okay. All right. Just throwing it out there. So, guy we talked about earlier, DeMarco, going up against Oakland. This weekend. He looked pretty good last week, and both weeks. He's scoring over 20 a week. Last week, played against Detroit. I can vouch for this. He had a 60-yard run. So that's, a little over a quarter of his points. And, he did get 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would have gotten him if this was a standard league. I value him for his points per reception. He's such an integral part of the passing game for Mariota. I think he's got at least 6 receptions in both games he's played this year.
So 12 total.
12 total receptions, which is huge. And I think that's where his true value comes in for me. If he can, 22 points is outrageous. I don't expect that production to continue. But if he can deliver me 15.
Hover 15-ish.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be thrilled.
Yeah. So Koski's got some players that have not been practicing.
Actually traded for him.
B. Marsh and Snead are original Miller Time players, but Alshon and Antonio. He traded for both of these players. Right now they're not practicing. I know the Chargers picked up another tight end this week. So that makes me, if I'm him, I'm nervous that they think he might miss some considerable time.
How old is he?
That's a great question. I'm gonna look this up on the
I
air.
think Alshon, I think in and of himself is a great player. I would totally love to have him on my team. But like we mentioned earlier, that O-line in Chicago is dog shit, and I just don't think there's going to be enough time for him to get open and number one and far enough down the field to make a difference.
So my mind was just blown. How old do you think Antonio Gates is?
36.
On the fucking money.
Are you fucking
He
serious?
is 36 years old.
I was immediately trying to think like 40, but he was like, nah, he's not that old. Damn,
He was born in 1980. I would have never guessed that.
What are you thinking?
31, 32. I mean, I know he's been around a while, but I did not think he was 36 years old.
Damn, I feel old.
Wow. All right, I feel even better about trading him now. All right. So Lamar Miller's going tonight against New England. He's been, I mean, he's like on, I feel like, a Latavius Murray so far. They said they were going to feed this man the rock, and, I mean, they're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
He got 28 carries week 1, 25 carries week 2. He's involved in the passing game. Is this a guy that's going to get a boost, or is he just going to end up, I mean, if he gets some touchdowns, like his numbers are going to be better, but do you think this is a guy that's going to
I don't think he's going to
stay as an RB2?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to carry you to a championship.
No?
I think he's a piece. And I think for Koski, I think he's got to hope that those wide receivers can pick up and really do it for him. I just don't put him on the level of being able to carry him to a championship.
Speaking of wide receivers, he got Larry Fitz back. He shipped him off last year for Fat Eddie.
Fat Eddie.
Traded to get him back. Larry is doing Larry things right now.
I think Koski might get the award for the oldest team being fielded by the BDL.
All right.
Larry,
How old's Larry Fitzgerald?
I have no fucking clue, but if I had to guess, maybe 32.
He's 33.
Oh man, I'm freaking good at this. Yeah,
Damn.
I think Larry Fitz is a solid player. I mean, and if I needed a wide receiver help, he would have never been off my team. I made a mistake of benching him last week for some fucking reason, which I don't understand. But he's a beast. I mean,
does he keep? He's a top tier wide receiver
Absolutely.
one right now.
Absolutely.
Ranked 4. Do you think he keeps that throughout the season?
I don't think so. I think defenses are going to start keying in on him and doubling him up or chipping him off the line or something to try to slow him down. And I think that's going to create opportunities for Brown. Like, we haven't even heard of that guy, and he's supposed to be a stud this year.
Right.
So I think it's going to create opportunities for other players on the team. I think Carson's going to start spreading the ball around. I think there's just no way he can keep this production up, even if it's his last year.
Right. Yeah. So he's taking on Buffalo. They're ranked 30 against wideouts. Against the Jets last Thursday, 60 points.
Yeah.
Larry this week, over/under 20 points.
I'm going to go over, but not by much. I think he'll go into the 22, 23 range. I think they're going to still key in on him. I think they'll keep him out of the end zone, but I think he'll get his production out of receptions. I miss you, Larry. Please write.
I've gone against you tons, especially in your inaugural season.
Yeah.
I'm going Katzman this week. 10 players all ranked top 10. Your farewell week with D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I think you send them off right. I just don't see how you lose right now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel good about it too. I'm sorry, Koski. I like the moves you've been making for the most part, but I just don't see how I can drop it right now. I think the momentum's in my favor. I think bounce backs from Antonio and from Cooks. D'Lo's going to go nuts on his last real start. I'm gunning for your record, buddy. I felt like I almost had it week 1. But I feel like I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to crush the 200 mark.
That if you get another game like that this year, I feel like that's a once in a
blue moon type
season, 2-season type deal to reach that high.
I'm doing it with D'Lo, and I think we can ride him because this is going to be his last real.
This might be your last chance at that mark. This
absolutely,
season.
absolutely. There's no way DeMarco and Ryan Matthews are going to get there for me. So
Yeah.
This is my shot.
So we got the white hot spotlight up. A couple of 2-0 teams. We got Tom, the commish, and Hardman Sr., both 2-0. I didn't see this coming from Hardman Sr. I like his team, but how fast he ran out of money, I just did not see this happening. Tom, up first here, Stefan Diggs, number 1 wide receiver right now. Straight fire. 17 points week 1, 33 points week 2. But he's running into Carolina this week. Do you think that's going to affect him?
No, I don't think so. I think the Carolina secondary is still developing and improving. Bradford is a serviceable, if not improvement over Bridgewater. If you really get my honest opinion, I think Bradford's definitely going to deliver the rock better to the wide receivers than Bridgewater could. So I think Diggs' role continues. I think that 7 to 10 receptions for 125 yards and probably a touchdown is going to continue.
It's insane. Do you think Peterson going out, do you think that affects him at all?
Yeah, I think it's going to give them more looks. I mean, I think they're gonna try to dump it out to their playmakers and get the ball into his hands as much as they can.
Rookie guy, you probably feel some kind of connection. Ezekiel Elliott. So, I mean, let's keep in mind this guy's played 2 games in the NFL, but Tom is. I've talked to him. He's impatient. He's pretty much like if he doesn't perform this week, like he's fed up.
Yeah. Given the hype coming in with this guy, I mean, like behind one of the best O-lines,
right?
He's going to be tearing up the league. He's going to be picking up where DeMarco did 2 years ago. I think there's only room for him to go down. Honestly, like I think he was overhyped to going in. I think he's a hell of a player.
He paid the price.
I think Tom should just calm down.
I mean, he did pay like David Johnson, Todd Gurley money for this guy. So I guess if you look at it that way, maybe he is underperforming. But I mean, he's getting over 20 touches a game.
Yeah, you can't be disappointed in that. And that line's going to gel. And I think the improvement of Dax as he gets better, defenses are going to not be able to stack the box as much. Once Dez starts lighting them up on the outside, it's just going to make Zeke go running crazy. So,
I think it's
if Tom wants to do a fire sale on him, you got a willing participant over here, buddy.
Two. Yep. Doug Martin, Sammy Watkins. AJ Green, sixth ranked wide receiver right now, despite going only for 5 week 2, maybe partially because he went for 36 week 1. This guy's got 13 targets week 1, 8 targets week 2. I love AJ Green. I mean, he's the only thing they got out there to throw the ball to almost. He's playing Denver this week, though.
It's going to be tough sledding. I think the Aqib Talib, I think the secondary. This could be a tough week for AJ, I think. I think AJ's going to – I don't think he's going to put out a 5-spot or anything like that. I think he's going to go up from there. But I think expecting 25-plus out of him is a –
I think it'll be
a reach. I think it's going to be lower.
I think it'll be a rougher week for Andy Dalton than it will be for AJ Green. AJ Green's going to suffer because of the day Andy Dalton's having.
Absolutely.
Got another one of your homers here. I'll let you take it. Greg Olsen taking on Minnesota.
I was completely turned on by that long touchdown down the middle last week by Greg.
I
about picked up my phone and told Tom, like, whatever you want, I would give you Delaney Walker for him.
Delaney Walker for him.
But no, I think Olsen is just such a great attribute for the Panthers to have, to be able to have those sure hands, that steady influence in the huddle. He's a top 3 tight end.
Top 3. I was going to say top 5, but
I think he's top 3. There's nobody else I'd rather have on my team. I just wasn't willing to pay for him. So
I don't think he's number 1 right now. I don't personally think he finishes there, but yeah, I still think he's going to be in the top tier of tight ends and far above the next tier. Hardman Sr., he picked up a player this morning, about 12:01 p.m. Eastern. Fozzie Whitaker, $15. $15.
Jay Stu's coming back,
Right. I think that's a little much for somebody that you're going to be using for 2 to 3 weeks, but in his running back situation, maybe still a stretch. What do you think?
I mean, I'm a pro at renting running backs, so I can
$6.
I can comment on this. I don't think Fozzie's going to be the main guy. I think Fozzie's going to stay in his role to change the pace back. I think it's going to be Cameron Artis-Payne getting the most touches out of the backfield for the Panthers. So, Corey, I mean, I know why you did it, but I don't think I would have done it.
This guy, in case people forgot, has 2 quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck. I mean, who do you think he's going to be? would you be getting rid of one of these guys?
Yeah.
Or do you think you can get rid of them?
I don't think there's a market to get rid of them from a trade perspective unless you're packaging them with somebody else. I don't think there's anybody knocking down his doors to get Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck. Maybe Luck, but Rodgers is struggling. That whole team's dysfunctional.
It is.
And I just don't see it. I mean, thankfully I took some sage advice last year and put Rodgers on the bench and won me a championship because he just has not been able to perform over the last 8 months. So I'd play Luck. I think he'd be better off doing that.
You think Luck is better? Who do you think's better at the end of the season?
Luck.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think the Packers not good right now. Jerick McKinnon. This was kind of a questionable ad, but now looks kind of like a genius.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a ton. We're talking about he's gotten 168 touches, but his career average is 4.9 yards a carry. No fumbles.
That's insane.
168 touches.
That's insane. But limited sample size, though.
Absolutely.
I think
for sure.
He's never been the guy before. He's always been the accessory, bringing him off for a change of pace or something like that. So it would be interesting seeing him going as the guy.
I think he's still going to get majority of the touches, but it's going to be him and Asiato going forward for sure.
Yep.
T.Y. Hilton. I think he paid $36 for T.Y. Right now, he is ranked 43rd. He's not he's putting up some numbers. He's not getting the points, though. And, he's getting 12 targets week 1, 11 targets week 2. Is this somebody that's going to emerge, or is he just in a...
Nah, I don't think so. T.Y. was on my team last year, and I probably overspent for him, kind of like Corey did this year for him last year. I don't think T.Y. is capable enough of being the primary weapon for Luck. I think once the focus of a defense gets on him, he's not able to get the separation that he needs. He's quick, he's got nice hands, but 2 years ago when he really broke out on the scene, it's not the same performance because he's the guy now and people have keyed in on it.
I feel like, the thing that he used to do was get behind the defense, get those long touchdowns, but now that people are aware of him, he's not able to get behind them as much anymore.
They don't have to worry as much with the underneath routes either, given the wide receiver changeover in Indy, so they're able to back up off the line. So, not a big fan of T.Y.
So I'm going to go Bonner this game. I think A.J. Green and Greg Olsen are going to help. And I think Zeke is going to put up his biggest point outage of the year this week.
Absolutely.
I think Bonner's team's going to get it together. I think he goes to 3-0, Hardman 2-1.
Quite honestly, I don't even know how Corey's undefeated right now. So I think, getting the win last week at a 105. And I like Tom's team. I really do. Tom. I hope Tom does too. I think he's got some great pieces there, and I think Olsen and Zeke hand Corey the loss.
Yeah. So that's all the matchups. I appreciate you coming out for the 6-pack.
Yep.
It's a blast. I can't wait to see who comes next. Who gets this next? Maybe this guy takes it back. Maybe it stays here. Maybe it goes to one of you other 8. That's it for week 3. Good luck, everybody, this weekend. We'll see you next week. This has been Shady and the Rookie Bitch. May the injuries be few and the touchdowns plentiful.
Absolutely.